Okay, part two. So I talked in the first part about my physical posture and how much that's meant I'm able to actually do things that I want to do. So once I'm like set up in that way, I also need to have some kind of option to kind of make it easy for me to get movement. So I have like a vibration plate right next to me that I can pull out and like put my feet on or stand on. I also have outside right here, so I could like go outside and go for the WALK. And if my mood is such that I can handle music, I will listen to music, and a lot of times that'll like, I have a very specific few songs that like really kind of work for me right now. So I would listen to that. Yeah, I have three songs kind of. And they're all different degrees of like what stimulated I need. It's funny. But what I'm gonna show here is the first line of defense that I have against kind of like not knowing what I'm doing. I've been working for a long time to develop a system of like a planner or a to-do system or project management that works for me, first of all, that makes it so that I want to come and use the system, but also so that it could kind of do double duty in certain ways, because I wanted to do journals, and sometimes like the idea of a morning pages feels good to me, but often writing it doesn't feel good to me, but speaking it does, and recording it in my voice notes. So a lot of this has been trial and error, and it has not been an intentional trial and error. I just need to clarify the way that my brain has thought about this, because maybe it's important for you all to know. Every time I've come to a new idea, it is the idea that's going to solve everything. Like everything. Like it is going to fix all of my problems. And that is the mentality that usually gets me going into something new. And now that I have a little more of a grasp on like the fact that that's the way it is with me, I still choose to be delusional, and I still allow myself that joy and that pleasure of being like, I've found the new thing that's gonna work. Because without it, it's hard to develop the motivation to try something new when so much has not worked and you are aware of how precious your energy is and how finite that supply is. It's like a decision to be delusional about these things that has allowed me to maintain a sense of whimsy, a sense of humor, and like those are the things that literally make all of this possible and worth it. So for me to come to a point to say that I found a system that actually might work based on evidence instead of speculation, aka delusion, it's a big deal. And the evidence I have for this is present in a planner that I used that is just like this one 3 years ago in 2022 for the summer when I was off from school. And it worked really well, doing a system of did-its until I got to a certain point when I had a huge chunk of time that was free time. Free time has always been a like quicksand area for me. It's something that I was genuinely afraid of most of the time, because I was just worried about how to use it the right way, and the right way meaning like in a way that would feel good to me and productive, and I wouldn't get stuck in what now I understand is like emotional flashbacks, and so and in shutdown from being overstimulated or overwhelmed or stressed. I forgot to mention the part about the free time. So when I would get my did it list, I would usually just write out what I did and when I did it in the day, and sometimes it didn't matter when I did it. It was more just kind of like seeing how much I got done, not in a way that I was judging myself, but more in a way that I was kind of proud of myself. A lot of times I wouldn't realize that I had done a lot of things that normally I thought were difficult for me. So I'd get to a period of free time and I would create what people are now calling like a menu, which is such a great term for it. it. I would write down a list of the things that I would be happy spending my time doing in whatever way. And I would list them there. And at the beginning, I was trying really hard to kind of figure out the timing that everything took, because I had this idea that I was going to be using timing and blocking, but now I understand that that is not a way that really makes sense for the types of intuitive waves I like to move when I'm in flow. The structure needs to come before the flow is about to exist, you know, like it's about to birth the flow. So I would do that, and sometimes to take the decision making out of my hands, which is like such a nice thing to do whenever you can, I would have like a die that I would roll, and I would just number what each one was, and then I would roll the dice, and then I would pick for me. So that, a little bit of that has come into play with the ways that I'm trying to create cards for myself that help me understand if I'm going through something scary or difficult, but also cards that can be like, hey, why don't you go like take a nice shower or go on a run in a new place. That takes the decision making out of it. So this not only has precedent in like an actual physical form, but I also used the like iPad form for a few months, maybe a month earlier this year, where I tried that. And there was some like benefits to that in like specifically a journal form, because what I was doing was taking my photos for the day and I was making like stickers out of them and just like sliding them into my to the like daily spread. And so that was like a really cool way for me to be able to look back on like on my life for that time. Like it gave me a really good glimpse in terms of like documentation. In terms of functionality though, on like a day-to-day, I use it and it helps me in the moment basis. It wasn't very helpful because I didn't like being on my iPad. I like having physical things. And so I've had to kind of like weigh the pros and cons of that in terms of like how I even go about other things like taking notes or writing down information of any kind. So what I started to do earlier in February, I started to let myself do some stickers there, and I did do a little bit of like a video on this recently, but I wanted to show it's been 10 days of me, or I guess, yeah, 10 days of me using this, and it's gone really well. Like these pages feel thick and nice. I'm feeling like I'm putting effort into these pages, and I'm actually getting like something that feels really beautiful and special in return. Like I know this is effort. Like this is effort for me. This was yesterday. This is today. And I don't give myself like a deadline where I have to get here. I just know that if I get to a point, and these are really important to kind of mention, if I get to a point in the day where I start getting scared, and that's like all I can call it. It sounds extreme, but that's like what it is. I get scared because I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I am living for the first time in my life, for the first day ever on planet Earth. And I see like remnants of like what I was doing at certain points in the past few days around me. And generally it's not like overwhelming. Sometimes it might be messy and then it's overwhelming, and visually my eyes with that clutter, it overstimulates. Like it's not even like the meaning of like what messy means. It's like visually my eyes are uncomfortable. And this is when like self-doubt is like sitting there waiting for me. When I have times to kind of like slip into these like spirals, it goes from like scary and confused to like terrifying. And that's when I have like a shutdown where I don't do anything. And honestly, if I'm lucky, I get really tired and I just sleep. But the worst is when I'm like awake and I'm having to exist here with no understanding that I'm in a position where I could regulate my nervous system. I could do something that helps me, but I'm unable to access that at that point. So anything that I am putting in the category of helpful is something that has allowed me to sidestep, to not get into those spirals. This is one of them. I think that's all I want to talk about for this video.